Well, that's an interesting question, the question of the aesthetics of movies, because here you are creating this extraordinarily fake reality. But tell me how you sort of came to that aesthetic, because you've been moving toward it slowly since the Adventures of Mr. Fox.
Since Mr. Fox, really, one thing is when I shoot a movie, we prepare everything in a very kind of detailed way, and there's a lot of sets that we're building and kind of effects that we're planning on. You know, that there's this whole invented thing that's happening, but and more and more so, especially these last two movies, we're working on location, entirely on location, nothing in a studio, and I prefer to be on location. Even if we're building stuff, you know, in a real house or in a on a street. You know, I mean, in Germany we were working almost the whole movie was shot within probably 10 minutes of the little hotel where we lived in the middle of this old city. And I think when we get the actors together on the set, I'm trying to keep as small a crew as we possibly can, as little a unit like how you're working right now, as small as possible, and so they can just do what they can feel. So they just do what they want. But I do create a situation where it's very hard to be this free, because, you know, obviously we're building all, you know, set in the 30s, and we're building all this stuff around them. So there's some little kind of friction I'm feeling about how to do it. I really want to work like a documentary, but at the same time I want to
You've got pink boxes, you know, stacked up.
Exactly.
And it's got to be just so.
Yes, it's a documentary that with a whole world that is not actually real. So it's, you know, that's the trick.
No, but it's wonderful, and you've let Stockhausen and Cannonair and all these people just go wild.
Yeah.
With the costumes and the. You will be nominated this year in all those categories. Trust me. Oh, it will happen this time. It should have happened with Moonrise.
Nobody's ever got. No, I mean, I think
you got writing. Yeah.
Milena once got it. Milena's been, you know, she's won lots of Oscars and stuff, but with me, she's never been nominated for an Oscar with me, but she did get once the Costume Guild Prize when we did The Life Aquatic many years ago. Which I think is the only prize that thing got anywhere. But yeah.
Mr. Fox, I thought they should have done costumes for that. That's the thing, when you've got a live-action animated stop-motion thing, you get lost in the shuffle, because those are real. Little. They were small, but they were really cool.
Small, but they're good. Yeah.
All right, so in this case, are you a little bit like Monsieur Gustave, you know, in the sense that you're living in the past, that you're fantasizing about something that no longer exists, unless you create it?
I could see that, you know, but especially that comes from this Stefan Zweig, this memoir by Stefan Zweig. He really is, his nostalgia is more like real mourning. I mean, he's really, you know, what he writes about is a world that was destroyed, that was his reason for existing, more or less. And I like old things. I mean, for whatever reason, I'm drawn to old things and old places and stuff. But I don't particularly have this feeling of the sense of loss. I don't feel a sense of loss on a daily basis that makes me feel sad or something like that. Like, you know, I've been living half the time in Europe for some years, and I just feel like it's an adventure. I mean, I don't feel any tragic thing. I mean, there is tragedy that you're aware of and that you sense. And in the case of this movie,
you hint at it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a part of the story. But my experience as a foreigner and as an American in Europe is very it's very exciting to me.
Well, just to be simple about it, for any American, the first time you go to Europe, you sort of go, "Oh my God, it's so old."
Yeah.
You know, you go to Chartres or something, and you see that you're in the presence of the ancients.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and so for you, visually, it seems to be very stimulating.
Yes, I mean, there's really no American equivalent. You know, here at the Four Seasons in Austin, there's nothing. I mean, maybe these cacti are old, but I don't know how long they live, but They're probably older than this building.
So you discovered the material, and this time the writing process was more solitary for you than it was on Moonrise?
Really.
Tell me the process for
well,
you.
the credit is that it's the story by me and my friend Hugo, and the screenplay by me. The truth is, we really wrote it together, so it's really not even fair. I think Hugo should probably have a screenplay credit, but no, we did it together. I mean, with most of these scripts, I'm working with somebody who's helping me do my thing.
Exactly.
So
it's an enabler.
It's an enabler.
Roman was an enabler last time.
Well, yes, Roman. Roman was an enabler, and the thing really wouldn't have happened if he hadn't enabled
Broke your writer's block.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, and then we, I mean, even if or even more than that, he figured out what needed to happen in the thing, and we did sit together and do the whole thing after that. And Hugo, it's not like Hugo just had some ideas and I bounced things off him. Hugo has a million, funny lines and things in the movie, and the movies, part of what makes these movies, I mean, they're different subject matter and all that kind of stuff, but also there is a voice of a different writer in the mix on each of them. So, I don't want to suggest that even though they're helping me do something that I want to do, they're still fully in it.
So why was Ray Fiennes the right guy to play Monsieur Gustave? I think he was. He's amazing. But
Yeah,
that's a tall order to carry that whole movie
Right.
with a lot of talking.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, because the character is talking all the time, and
you could get tired of him.
you could get tired of him, and he could be not funny or alive. But to me, the thing, I wanted to have somebody who would. I knew I needed somebody who could handle this kind of task of all this, of having to talk through the whole movie, because not all great movie actors are capable of that at all. But the other thing was to not have it feel like a kind of I want to say a turn. There's probably some better word for it. To feel like a real person. That was the key thing. That to take a character that's a bit theatrical and make him feel like a real person who is theatrical, rather than a movie invention. And I feel like he makes whatever he's playing real. He's very kind of grounded in whatever he's playing. And I just always loved him. I just thought he's such a powerful, interesting actor.
We didn't know he was so funny.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot of comedies, but the things that I thought of specifically, the things I thought that made me say, well, I know he can do something that has a lightness and that sort of thing, is, well, first in Bruges.
Very much so.
Yeah,
yes.
He's so funny in Bruges, and I mean, you can't say he's light in it, but he's funny.
And Psychopaths, 7 Psychopaths too?
Is he in that? Or is
maybe not.
Colin Farrell is in it.
Yeah.
But he's great. Yeah. Also, I saw him in a play, God of Carnage, in England, and he played the part that Christoph Waltz plays in the Carnage movie, and he was very funny and good in that. And then there's also something Bob Balaban directed called Bernard and Doris, with Susan Sarandon. She plays Doris Duke, and he's a butler. And it was like an HBO movie, I think, or Showtime, HBO.
I think it got an Emmy nom.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. No, he was great. So where did you get, I'm going to just jump around. Where did you get the Funicula?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Well, that's probably the plural.
It's a funiculum?
Funicular.
Lar.
Yeah. As an American, we'd say funicular. I'm sure they call it funicular. It's probably it's said in the movie. It's said by an English person, I'm sure. Well, that those are there's still those around. They in some hotels in Switzerland, and in Dresden. There's two of them. These little train cars. There's one in Karlovy Vary in Czech Republic that just go from one they go from one stop to another up the hill, and they're shaped like staircases. They have some seats here and some seats here and some seats here, and the car goes like that. And yeah, they're amazing. There's also one in Los Angeles. Do you know it?
No.
Angel Share, I think. Angel Flight. It's Bunker Hill, I think, right on the edge of downtown Los Angeles. Is this old Angel's Flight, I think, or Angel's Steps. You'll find it somewhere. Anyway, it's still there.
Congratulations on doing so well. You broke,
thank you.
like,
Yeah.
My box office guy was having conniptions because you broke records beyond the pale of anything
That's
that,
great.
And do you have a theory about what people are responding to? You've been talking to a lot of people, obviously, on the road. And in Berlin, it's obviously a global thing. Do you have a sense of what are you giving them an escape?
No, I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't even think about it. No, I don't know. I mean, we're on 4 screens, so you can certainly tank pretty fast after that.
It's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
Well, partly because part of what you've done is you've assembled this great ensemble.
Yeah.
So you've got all these people like.
Right.
Bill Murray, not even if they're not on the screen for very long and they're covered with hair and mustaches and things.
No, we have. Yeah, this is probably the best group that we've managed to get together. Well, this one also, I haven't had a movie where all the people that I wanted did it. It's always there's some people who you kind of had your heart set on that don't end up wanting to do it. This one was all just everybody we asked had enough time. Partly also, for most of them, it didn't take that much time, which makes a big difference for smaller parts. But the key thing was to have Rafe anyway. But yeah, we got this whole, getting Jude Law for that part was just a great. I'd wanted to work with him for years, and I'd never worked with him. And he was perfect. And he's not just on screen; he's doing voiceover, and he's got a wonderful voice. As does Tom Wilkinson, as does F. Murray Abraham.
Well, you've got the story within the story within the story.
You've got a lot of guys talking.
You've got little boxes.
Yeah.
But you pulled that out. You pulled it out. It was really fun. Talk about the music and the tone that you were setting.
The music, we had this thought to do. Randall Poster and I had talked in advance, and then Alexandre Desplat about doing something kind of Eastern European, and we came upon this idea of balalaika music, these kind of Russian mandolin things, and when you get a whole orchestra of the balalaikas, it's this magical kind of winter wonderland humming sound, and that was the key thing. And then Alexandre really, he wrote for that instrument, he wrote for the cymbalom, this Hungarian sound. But it comes from him, really. So it's his it's a French person's interpretation of this Eastern European kind of atmosphere.
They're dragging you away. I could talk for another hour.
Okay.
Great to talk to you,
thanks.
Wes.
Thanks. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.